Okay, please tell me that worked. Okie dokie. Oh, thank goodness. Hello, everyone. My god, it has been too long since I have streamed. Because I can't even... oh my god. I've literally spent like the last half hour just like... Oh my god! I'm already past the time! How's the music volume? How's the mic volume? How's everything? Yeah. That's too many settings. Okay, let's see about the thumbnail. I don't know if I can change. I don't know if it'll let me just remove. Okay, good. At least the audio is not crap right now. I arrive precisely when I am able to. Oh my gosh. Hey, Bernardo. Yes, I finally got around to getting this one set up. I don't want the old thumbnail on here, so let's try and get something really quick. I'm like peak anxiety right now because like I was trying to get this working and it wasn't working. So let me just try and calm down and get this image thing fixed. Then I can relax a little bit and do some chatting. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Let's see, let's try and find a nice little foresty picture. No, I don't want a Mel Gibson film still for my thumbnail. Oh, sorry you can't make it, Bernardo. It'll stay on the channel and be live, so you could always rewatch it if you wanted to. Echoey voice? Oh. Okay, why can't I find something? Apologies, just give me a couple more minutes. Arg. Okay, I cannot find things. Let me just put my normal background on there. I'm still doing this, so I'm trying to also keep up on chat. Codename unknown, thank you. I do like doing live stuff, it's just I've been so stupidly busy. Yeah. Mirrored image. God, the server rec is so fun. I love that thing. I haven't been able to give it enough attention lately, but it is... Okay. One more folder. Crap, I selected the wrong thing. Change. I actually, in the server rec door, I put an LED strip. I can only do it on one side, but I'm really happy with it. Okay. I don't know what it is about streaming. I got a direct, almost gigabit landline connection into my MacBook, and everything was like lagging horribly just trying to get my stream to go. So, oh, you know what? I think it's because I got hybrid to coax. I got hybrid fiber to coax, so my upload is only like 30 to 40 megabits. My download is like 800. That's probably why my stream... I really need to get duplex. Okay, let me pop out the chat. I can focus a little bit better. Still trying to calm. Got my fidget cube. Popping out the chat. Please bear with me. I'm trying not to lose my mind. Oof. Okay. It looks like my microphone is working. Audio is working. Sounds like it. Okay, cool. Okay. Chat. Have I had an experience on configuring Rex before, or was it all new experience? It was all new. So part of my bachelor's program is a lot of CompTIA certifications, which are really great industry-renowned IT certifications. And after going through WGU's program, and I'll get to there, but WGU I had to take A+, so I took A+ Part 1 and 2, so I have my CompTIA A+. They have you take Project Plus, which was not too unfamiliar for me because we use Scrum and Agile in my day job, and then I'm a Lean Six Sigma green belt, so like project management and a lot of that stuff, a lot of it was really familiar. So I have A+, Project Plus. Then the last CompTIA cert they have you get is the Network Plus certification. So Network Plus was all things networking, which it builds on top of some of the other content like A+, but it got me interested into networking. And I'm just insanely curious. I want to learn everything in life. So I built the server rack and spent way too much money. Thank you, YouTube. Benevolent YouTube gods have helped pay for this. Well, we'll be paying for this over the next year. But building the rack, configuring everything, I got 2 servers in there. I got a HP DL360p Generation 8, which is decent. And I got a Dell PowerEdge 720. I think that's the name. But yeah, so the Dell is going to be a dedicated NAS. I didn't want to go with Synology because I didn't want something... it's pretty good, I hear, but I wanted it to be like mega configurable. So I wanted to configure everything. So I might be using like TrueNAS or something on the Dell. The HP is one of them that's actually going to be running all my services. And I have like 20 or so services, things that I want to run. It's going to be interesting figuring out like how much server I need for this stuff. But no, I had no experience with any of this before anything. But I did learn a lot through my Network Plus certification, which I actually studied pretty hard for that one. And then putting all this together actually helped me on the cert too. Of course, there's crossover. But like there's a performance-based question on Network Plus about wiring, like your wiring diagrams for actually getting connectivity. And because I make my own Cat6 cabling for all this stuff, so like you can see some cables running back there. Maybe not, it's kind of dark in here. But there's Cat6 cable back there, and I make all my cables. So I got like 2,000 feet of Cat6 cabling over there. I got the jacks, I got the crimper, I make my cables. So like that actually helped me on my certification. So I got the Network Plus. After passing Network Plus and A+, you get a stackable for free additional one, which is my CIOS. So I got CompTIA, or not, it's a Certified Information Technology Operations Specialist. So I'm an operations specialist. But then CompTIA last July actually paid me to take their beta exam and give feedback for their Data Plus certification, which is probably the most actually relatable cert they have for my degree program. Oh, can you hear that? Looks like it's picking up, the audio's picking up the fans. But yeah, the Data Plus was actually really easy for me, which is should be because I'm in that industry. Like I do data management and data analytics for my day job. But yeah, so I basically have A+ project, network, CIOS, data. I have 5 CompTIA certifications now, and my Lean Six Sigma. So yay, paper. But after getting through Network Plus, that's like the hardest thing. So now I can just get through all of that and downward slope the rest of my classes. And I just finished a SQL class that took like 3 days. 3 days. And I finished a SQL class. So, yeah. Let me try turning down, because it doesn't really need to be on. So let me actually try turning down some, deal with the temperature in the house first. Because smart devices. I got smart everything. Oh, that's why. Cool. No wonder the house is hella hot. It shouldn't be. So let's turn the house cooler. Okay. So that'll make the house cold. And then this thing will shut up. So hopefully that's good enough. And we'll shut up soon. Oh, there it goes. Yay. Wizard speak. I've got to upgrade the mega plug and rejig the ether zoom to run. Yeah. The amount of memorization that I had to do for Network Plus was kind of crazy. But I made notes for everything, like protocols, ports, all different kinds of stuff. There's so much, but learning networking was really fun. I really like it. I still like app dev and developing applications. Still has my heart. I love back-end development. I like doing things that talk to databases, get data, display data, deal with data. But networking is fun, and then I already got Proxmox installed on the HP. So I got my hypervisor. Now I just need to run my Docker and VM services, and I'm probably going to stick with Microsoft SQL Server and run that on a VM because I want to like Postgres, but I really just, I realized some really stuff I didn't really like about it, and I just finished a Postgres class. It took me 3 days, but I really prefer T-SQL and Microsoft SQL Server, which is like, because now I actually have to run Windows on something, but you know, that's what VMs are for. Oh, thanks for the cable management thing. Yeah, I am a nerd for cable management. I mean, that's half the fun of networking, isn't it? Just managing cables. Yeah, my all-in attitude on an interest. Hyperfixation. Thankfully, I have things like YouTube and benevolent patrons that help support this channel, which really ends up being supporting my fixations, because this is obviously not cheap. But yeah, I'm really appreciative that I have the ability to explore my interests like this, because this is a barrel of fun. Sitar, nice tats. What do they say? I have a lot of things written on me, so I'm not just going to list them all out, but thank you. RC, SQL easy to learn or hard? Very easy. You could pick it up in a weekend. The syntax is really easy. I mean, I just put out that video on my channel Wednesday? Sometime. I think it was this week, Wednesday. But SQL's really easy to do basic stuff, like just basic queries, basic joins. It is so easy. Managing a database and building things like store procedures, tables, and programming and coding things, using the DML and DDL, the data manipulation and data definition language in SQL, that's different. But just like you're getting your data out of a database with SQL, that's not difficult. And you could pick that syntax up in like a weekend, no problem. Gavin in the house. Hey, Kevin. How you been? How you doing? Speaking of which, I only have Omar on here as a mod in my chat. I need to... There you go. Because you're a moderator too. Thank you again for being a moderator. Hey, Max. Same interest as you. C++, I did a C++ class, but that's an intense language. I just looking at how much there is to know, I never even got into stuff like structs yet. I don't know how deep I want to get into C++, but right now I am vibing with Python. I love how easy it is to get some stuff set up, and I'm doing things with APIs and databases with Python at my job, building applications. It's really nice. But Rust is on my hit list. I want to do more with Rust, and I want to do more with lower level languages like that because I'm probably C, because I really want to get back onto Arch as my daily driver full time. Especially after I finish school, because the MacBook is then just going to be for like content creation. I want to live off of my ThinkPad. What don't I like about Postgres? It's not that I don't like things, like I don't know enough about it to really give a definitive technical answer of I don't like this. It's just that I'm so used to T-SQL. I've been using T-SQL for years, and it really makes sense to me. The way that the indexes are used, like I can put a unique clustered index on a table and it sorts the data so that if I just select something, I can see sorted data. And I know there's ways of doing it in Postgres. I did a rank function on a column and that actually sorted it the way that I wanted to, but just putting a clustered index on a table did not automatically sort it. And it's discrepancies like that that just kind of like, do I want to spend the time learning a whole brand new tool, or can I just use, port 1433 and a VM and Docker or whatever to run a Microsoft SQL Server? Like, I don't know. I might just need to just sit down and like get over myself and focus on Postgres and learn it. But gathering 25 years worth of data into digital locations, setting up a backup system doesn't suck. Same. I am downloading all my stuff and getting it onto cloud. I want to get it onto my NAS to be after I can get the time to set up the NAS software on there. But yeah, I want 3:2 level redundancy. I want that, so we're in the same boat on that one. Only reason I want to learn C is to make video games. Well, all the Linux utils are, like all the core utils are still written in C, and a lot of Linux is written in C. But then again, a lot of Rust is starting to make a big impact into the Linux kernel from some of the things I've been seeing. It's starting to really start to justify itself there. And then a lot of people make amazing replacement utils out of Rust. So Rust is on my hit list. I want to do more with Rust. I love CLI applications. You know what language is really easy to learn faster than Python and can work on a low level like C? I get the feeling you're going to say Lisp. Because you just did a bunch of Lisp content. Do any game engines actually use C? Yeah, I thought they were all C++ and C# too, because Unity is C#. If I had to give 3 tips for time management, what would I say? Well, shoot, context matters. Is it somebody who's ADHD? In which case they can relate to my experience a little bit more. But I'll just talk from that frame. 3 tips for time management. Well, I can't hold them all in my head at once because I'm still hyped up. But first one that comes to mind is ride the wave. So I'll schedule things in my day and have a bunch of things listed out. I want to do all this stuff. And what if one of those things is just get started on a big thing? Not necessarily finish it, but just get started. Like, I want to build the server rack. So if I say I just need to get started, I don't need to finish it, but make progress, I'll start it. But what if I get into it and I want to do more? I want to keep going with this. Ride the wave. So the whole point is I need to get things done. Well, if I have 5 things I want to get done and one of them is really hard, I just want to start it. Well, if I suddenly get into, really into doing the hard thing, ride the wave. Do it. If you finish the hard thing that day, then that's still productivity. So like for me, it's like sometimes you just have to sacrifice how many things you want to do in a day and just accept that you're going to be really productive on one thing that's a really big thing that you just happen to really get into that day. So riding the wave is a big thing I had to come to terms with. It. Just because you suddenly feel productive on the big thing doesn't mean you're like, okay, but I was supposed to be doing these things and try and shift that over to here, because that doesn't work for me. Time management, saying just doing a time blocking is kind of like, I don't know if trite's the right word to say at this point, but it's kind of like it's overused, because like, yeah, time blocking, but like going beyond that is, I don't know, I'm struggling to find two more off the top of my head. Ride the wave for sure. Maybe just don't put too many things on in the day, and like just pick one thing, and then because you're not overwhelmed with a bunch of them. Manage energy, not time. Those are some pretty solid ones. I don't do timers for myself personally. I don't like timers, but hey, whatever helps people. I knew the answer was Lisp. I did play with Common Lisp for a little while. It was a little interesting. I did not get too far into it. Might be something else I need to pick up, but yeah, I just didn't really see where I could fit in Lisp stuff into what I really do. And I remember in your video, Gavin, you mentioned you try to shim it into anything that you're doing, but I'm not really sure where I could see putting Lisp into anything that I'm really doing at the moment. Sure there is, though. Oh, you set timers for tasks I don't want to do. That's clever. You could say, I really don't want to do this thing, but I have to do it for 5 minutes. But when 5 minutes passes and you're already into it enough and invested into it enough that you could see that 5 minutes through to the completion of the 15-minute task, I could see the value in that. Maybe I should try giving that one a try. Yeah. I just noticed that I've been talking nonstop, especially a lot of the stuff about school. My mouth is dry. Man, I am just like, still. I'm kind of calming down a little bit, but I'm still like a little overly hyped up. The most unexpected way that my YouTube channel and its growth changed my life, positively or negatively. A lot of ways, actually. It wasn't like the main thing, but it was definitely helpful that my YouTube channel actually helped me get my current job. Because, the whole showing initiative and interest into technology stuff outside of your work hours kind of a aspect of things. But, I mean, I work for the government, so it's not quite so private sector-ish of like, we see all these private projects you do. But it did help. I get to talk to and work with a lot of really cool people doing a lot of cool stuff, collaborations and whatnot. Sponsorships are still interesting. Getting the money from sponsorships is really nice because then, well, yeah, money. But it helps me do things like hobbies, fixations, without having to really impact a lot of my personal finances. And like, that's a business write-off. So that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I also really like just having impact and scope. So like people want, like now on my channel, funny enough, it was Obsidian videos, but like my most popular video now is one of my ADHD videos. And I get incessant comments on that video. And I respond to every comment on my channel. And if you don't get a response, it's probably because I deleted the comment because it was something I didn't like, which is rare, but I like a lot of the positive impact that I seem to have had on people with ADHD, which is really rewarding in of itself. But also focusing on that content has actually led me to better quality of personal life because I like looked at myself more, my own ADHD more, got more help, more tools and things that would help me be better, and led me to my current wonderful journey into the US healthcare system of trying to get my autism diagnosis, because I took some tests and yeah boy scored pretty high on some things that did not expect to score highly on. So there's been a lot of things. It's something I really enjoy. I just enjoy making content, people appreciating it, sharing it, people benefiting, and just like I really like live streaming. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it, and like because like the way that my brain works, I need a large chunk of time to devote to something specific, even though like I might need 5 hours just to devote mentally to prepare and do a 1 hour task. But like if you have 5 hours in the first hour or the second hour, rewind. So if I have like 5 hours, the first hour I might just be like preparing and psyching myself up to do a 1 hour task. I do the 1 hour task, but now I have 3 free hours. Then I fit other stuff into those 3 hours. But I need to have that 5 hour block to feel like I can do the thing, even if the thing's only 1 hour. And like, I'm like that with everything. So like I need large chunks of time to really devote to something that I feel in my head is arduous, which is live streaming in this case. And I don't have that time. And I've been trying to focus on school to get that done because it's expensive. But I really like live streaming because I like to interact with people live, and I like to hear from people. Oh, yep, there's the camera thing. Most series of language anyone would have interest in. Actually, Gavin, I love tangents. Please tell me some of those pros and cons. I'd love to hear them because I did like. I remember hearing like one of the benefits is just like the data and the code have the same structure or something like that. Endless parentheses. And I see it in a lot of things. Like I know that I think logsec uses Clojure, and then there's like Clojure script. I'm not sure if Clojure is the same. I don't know how I know these things. There's so many languages. Shoot. Speaking of time management, yeah. Fun times with time management. Upcoming YouTube projects I'm excited about. Let me, actually I closed Todoist because my computer was being slow as hell. Let me check, because I don't keep this stuff in my head. I wanted to do dedicated videos for Templater and DataView in Obsidian. And I probably want to cover my devlog stuff some more because my devlog is actually in Dendron now. And I really like Dendron for technical stuff now. And I'm actually working on a sponsorship deal with Kevin, the developer of Dendron, which is going to be a really cool thing. And then I also have been wanting to do more technical content, like more code-based videos, to put my channel a little bit more into the tech space than just note-taking productivity kind of space, because I like talking about code and technology. So I probably will be doing more on that and want to do more on that. What is something in tech that you have no interest in whatsoever? Does it count if I say collecting business requirements and dealing with change requests from the business side? Technology I don't care about. Probably anything lower than C. I don't really like, I don't know what goes into writing drivers, so I don't know if I would be into that or not. Stuff that I have less interest in is probably cloud stuff. Like, I don't know if I care too much about like AWS or Azure in that instance. I don't really care about Active Directory or Windows. I guess you could say Windows. I really don't like Windows. I have not written assembly. No, the lowest I've ever written is C. And even that's just basic. I've done basic C, and I did C++ for my class, which is like a basic project, so barely any of that. I've done a little bit of Rust, but I want to really get into Rust and probably C. A lot of pros if I really want to see them. Maybe you could just ping them to me on Discord then, Gavin, if there's so many. Let's see here if I could have just Discord open on the side too, in case people are putting things into a channel over there. Yeah, human side of technology. I like to be neck deep in code and logic and interfaces. Like I'm really, really good with interfaces and connecting things together and making data flow from like databases to applications. And I made a full end-to-end application using Azure's REST API, Microsoft Orchestrator, because we are using Service Center, Service Manager, which is like archaic as hell. And then the full Azure REST API, Python, and I have it running in PowerShell just because of some text formatting. But basically it's a TUI application with a bunch of Python libraries that deals with the REST API, databases, and it runs it runs our ticketing service. So I made this for my boss to like improve our ticket processing workflow for IT tickets. And like that was my first real experience ever working with a REST API, first real Python application project. And like I have enough like general experience with code and tech stuff that it was not a big deal. Yeah, it was really fun getting something to life like that. And I have a basic stripped version on my GitHub that I'm trying to get my boss to give a once over just to make sure there's nothing sensitive in it. Not that I think there was anything left in there, but that's going to be loaded there. It's ugly as hell code. I haven't refactored it. But I like making applications like that. And I plan to make a lot of my own applications. Like one of my grand projects that I wanted to do when I get more time. More time. Probably after I finish my degree, is I wanted to spend more time fixing up the server stuff in my services, but I want to get my own SQL database running, and I wanted to develop all of my own applications, my own Python applications and things, and kind of have my own operating system, really just a bunch of different applications that help me manage and run my life. Like there's ways of getting email in your terminal with like Neomut and whatever, but like connecting email to like a CRM system running through the SQL database, and personal relationship management stuff and task management stuff using Todoist API, and just there's a bunch of stuff I want to do with like my own database instances. And full nerd. I want to go full nerd after my degree program is over and I have more. And I have the perception of more bandwidth. So one thing you wanted to ask me about is if I have a system in place for correcting old Obsidian docs after I change a template or something. No. That kind of thing is kind of just when I come across the document again and I happen upon it, I'll notice that it's an older version. I might want to fix it up. I might fix it up then. But it's kind of something I've been trying to work on that my boss actually instilled into us in our team, which is MVP, the minimum viable product. And so like if you don't constantly use it, then what's the point of refactoring everything that doesn't match the current spec? That's a lot of work. What if you just suddenly, I want to make one more minor change to the spec? Then you have to update everything again. So like it's kind of a move forward from where you're at. But if you come across something old that needs to be updated, then update it, because at that point in time, you need to look at this thing, then update it, move ahead from there. So like I don't actively try to refactor everything when I make a change, just when I happen across stuff, or if it's really easy to do a full refactor, like with some text replacement stuff, I might do that. But that's about it. I got other things to do with my time. Yeah, the trying to be completionist and have it perfect before you do something is not going to help your productivity, because I'm talking from experience there. Sometimes you just have to make it good enough. I had to write Battleship in assembly. Whew. How fun was that? Best place to start for somebody who has no programming experience and wants to build a note-taking system like yours. You don't need programming experience to build a note-taking system like mine. I built my system the way that it is, and beneficially, my knowledge of programming and technology helped me understand why I might want to do things in a specific way. But you don't need programming experience to do it, because programming and tech is a whole other realm of knowledge that is the investment of learning those things going to pay off in what you're doing. Who knows? So I have a note in Obsidian that says what you just said about making my own personal databases, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I've had a project on my GitHub forever called Pyrm, Pyrm, which is supposed to be like Python personal relationship management, like personal relationship management, PRM, but it's Pyrm. That project was going to be the beginning of that whole ADHD OS operating system for Python apps in my database stuff. And one thing I have figured out recently is using Fast API with Python. I can figure out a way of doing like a bunch of microservices all running on their own ports through using Fast APIs. And so like at this point, I could even set up a microservice architecture and just have data bouncing between different services and set up, you know, little tiny things that all run and do their own thing. And I could have them all running in Docker containers. The nerddom never ends. I want to learn all of these things and run them on my servers. Servers. Hard to point at this thing. But yeah, there's so much I want to do. So much I want to learn. It legit never ends. There's always so much I want to learn. We actually have structured KT, knowledge transfer learning time at work, and like I got so many things on my hit list, so many things. Now that I'm done with my exams, am I still running through my Anki cards for them? Yeah. Some things I make Anki cards for. I don't overdo it. I usually will keep the Anki cards unless it's something that I really just was trying to cram, and then I don't really care about the information, like Project Plus for a lot of the project management stuff. I don't care about a lot of the project management office forms or the bureaucracy around project management. I don't care about that stuff. So once I was done with the class, I archived the hell out of all those. But my A+ and Network Plus flashcards, I definitely keep them. Yeah. With so much to learn, how do I manage to always have energy to tackle new things that come? I tackle the new things, and I tackle the things that I need to. Like, my priorities take priority, obviously. So I do what I need to do, which is why I haven't had the energy to do as much learning as I would like to do. So there's the rub, is that I want to learn all these things. I don't have the time, or I don't feel like I have the time, so I have not done as much as I want to. I feel like once I get done with school, this is what I'm telling myself right now, is that once I finish school, which should be a downward slope now because all of my hardest certifications are done, I can focus on my classes, downward slope them, take the practicals, get them out of the way, and then I'll have the energy to, one, take better care of my health and work out more, which I desperately need to do, and to spend more time learning. And like, so here's what I've been describing to people, is I want to be able to just sit here, and maybe today I need to be productive, but I got lost in dealing with Python, and I built a microservice today. Yay, fun times, had fun. Learned a piece of a new language. Yay, had fun. But at this point in my life, when I'm in this degree program, it's like I have a 24/7 anxiety gremlin that just sits above my head. And every time I'm not being productive, I'm not studying, I'm not preparing for my class, I'm not taking an exam, every time I'm not doing school things, because my school costs like $3 to $4 grand per term, 6-month term, and I'm allowed to take as much or as little credits as I want. So like my first term, I took 27 units. Bam. But like this current term, I'm barely scraping in with like 11. So I'm barely full time because the CompTIA cert slowed me down. So I kind of got stuck in a rut with the CompTIA certs because they just took so much more effort than a lot of the other classes. And also because they're just so broad in their content compared to like a SQL class when I've been doing SQL professionally for like 2 years, so, or more. I don't even know how long, 2, 3 years. So they slowed me down, and then I'm just like, basically like, at any moment I'm not doing something for that, I just have this anxiety gremlin just beating me upside the head saying, you're so lazy, you need to do that, you're wasting money, So it's been a struggle to do anything that I deem enjoyable and just focusing on the degree program. So I'm trying to get through the degree, and then after that, and the anxiety gremlin goes away, I'm hoping to have more time to learn and just to enjoy my time myself. But yeah, I don't have time for tackling a lot of things that I want to. I kind of have just been, do what needs to be done at any given moment. Romero, I have a question. How could I organize all the content that I learned at university? Well, I don't really do notes for my classes, honestly. Just because like I just didn't find it useful for me yet. For my classes, I kind of just did Anki cards and just review the material and do whatever labs and project-based learning stuff I could do for the classes. And like I'm not really good with just reading long-form text, so I use Text Sniper to take screenshots of text and have it read back to me at really high speed as I read the text, so I can track but also have it read to me. And I just review resources, do my flashcards, and I don't really take notes on class material. I take notes on like things I read, watch, and listen to for like zettelkasten stuff. And then for tech things, I take notes on stuff that I use, like code snippets I might use, and things I might want to come back to, like, oh, yeah, I remember I worked on a fast API code snippet that did this thing. Where is that? It's in my dev log notes. So I don't really organize stuff for school, but what you could do is just do a mock or map of content where the main index note is that class, and then you have like, you know, chapters or sections based on your syllabus, and each section breaks out into different notes, and then just tendrils of content going out that way. I'd be intrigued to see your process for archiving and your criteria protocol for archiving data. Archiving data. I mean, I don't really have a lot of stuff I do archive for my personal stuff. Like I do have all my old YouTube video footage. After a certain point, I started keeping it and archiving it, mostly projects I made on the MacBook. And I have an external hard drive, a 10 terabyte external hard drive that's on right now until I can get the NAS set up. But really, I just use ISO 8601 date stamps and have it chronologically ordered and just put them all into different folders and projects and stuff. But like the more geeky IT level stuff of backup stuff that I'm going to do is on the NAS. I'm going to have, I'm going to be running ZFS, and I'm probably going to have RAID 60 because my the Dell PowerEdge has 16 drive bays, so I could run pretty much any RAID configuration I want. And I'm probably just going to do a ZFS pool and run RAID 60 or RAID 6, or I need to learn more about that stuff. But I'm going to have hella redundancy, so I could like have 2 disks fail and have complete parity and be completely fine, lose no data. And I'm going to have it all in there, but then I'm also going to have it backed up onto a cloud service like OneDrive or something. So kind of a 2-as-1 backup, but that's like the extent I'm going to really go for it. Watch out for what I put on my learning list. It never ends. My learning list is a mile long. I'm endlessly curious. The secret is not there's 2 of me. There is only 1 of me. The secret is that I sometimes really don't sleep a lot. Or I hyperfixate and learn something crazy in depth, and then that helps me learn other things quicker, which is kind of how I pick up tech stuff so quickly, is because I have such a depth of knowledge on certain little things that I then just grow and expand and connect, and it kind of just helped. I pick up stuff really well and fast. Never liked language learning, but now I'm deep learning into linguistics, phonetics, and making my own scripts and studying African writing systems. That's cool. That's really cool. I'm, again, because bandwidth, and it's haphazard as hell, but I'm learning 2 languages right now. My girlfriend speaks Mien because she's Mien, her family's Mien, and I want to be able to speak to her family for the ones that don't speak as fluent English. And just because like it's kind of it's something you should do if your partner is like has a native language, is that as their partner you should learn their native language to bond with them on that level and also to connect with their family on that level. That's my opinion. So like I'm trying to learn her language, which is a lot easier for me because then we can just speak it in the house, and I learn phrases just by living daily life, which is, you know, full immersion, which is how you should, which is a great way of learning. But I'm also trying to learn Norwegian, and I really love the Norwegian language, and it's really easy comparatively because I did 3 years of German in high school. German is, with how many tenses there are, der, die, das, ihr, wir, sind, seid, the other sind, like there's like 9 or something, and like English is even more, if I remember correctly. My sister is an English major, and she's like, English has like 12 tenses or something. Norwegian, it's just like female, male, and neuter, and even then the female and male can be combined into the same thing. So you basically only have 2 tenses that you really need to care about, which is so much easier. But then like what I really love about Norwegian is like, take the word knife. Knife is just kniv. Okay, knife, kniv. Knives, kniver. The knife, kniven. The knives, knivena. It just makes sense, and like it's almost all structured that way. Kniv, kniver, kniven, knivena. Bam. It just makes it easier to understand and learn a lot of different phrases of the language because it follows such an easy and consistent rule. It's logical. And learning German actually really helped me pick up Norwegian because it's a Germanic language. So like the way that you do subjects is different than saying like, I went to the store. It's like saying something akin to the store I went, or something like that. I forget, but that whole thing was much easier to pick up from learning a Germanic language in the beginning. But languages, whether it's computer or human, I'm always trying to learn things. So my mind is constantly having stuff shoved into it, even if it's not as much hyperfixated content in as what I would like. Like I would really love to just spend a couple hours a day learning Norwegian from my books, from, you know, actually talking with somebody online, getting a tutor, plugins, extensions, whatever. Like I want to do more on that, but like I don't have the bandwidth. I know all about your zettelkasten, but what are your thoughts on the para method? I glanced at it. I haven't done enough with it to really have a well-formed opinion or to say something definitive on it. All I know is that Tiago made that, I think, and I haven't looked at it too heavily because my system is really tailored to me. It works for me. So I haven't glanced at it too much to really give it a good amount of attention. But now that you mention it, I'm going to add it to my list because I want to look at it more now in detail. Add it to my learning list. Para method. I'll look into that. So that's how it happens, folks. Add it to the learning list. It grows. It never ends. Send some reasons I like Lisp on your Discord. Thanks, Gavin. I appreciate it. I'll look at that tonight too, because learning never ends. Every person with ADHD sounds like Sherlock Holmes. Why is that? My mind is like a racing engine tearing itself to pieces because it is not connected up with the work for which it was built. Relatable. Some of it doesn't make sense because it's mostly notes from my video where I basically explain my Lisp rocks. Cool. Actually, I have it. Alright, I had Discord pulled up. Where'd it go? Blah, 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 blah. Where you be? Oh, okay, it's just a file. Okay, I'll check that out after the stream. Leave that unread. Okay, back to chat. It's probably the most active stream I have, but then again, the last time I did a stream, I think I had half the amount of subscribers, so. No one agrees on how many tenses English has. I really don't like English. Like I've had like a college reading level in vocabulary since I was like, well, since at least before I was in like 5th grade, and I think I was like 11 at that age. But like, I mean, that's just because I read a lot of books. Like I was a voracious reader. I read so much, but then again, when you didn't have the advent of technology on the scale that we have it now, and you're too young to actually have access to it as much, how else are you going to dissociate? Books! So, I read a lot of books, and I miss the amount of books I used to be able to read. I got several over here I'm trying to read right now. I started learning Icelandic and put that on pause. Now I'm learning Esperanto, and that makes so much more sense. Wasn't Esperanto a deliberately manufactured language? And are there some people trying to make a standardized communication method? I think that's what I've heard. I've also heard that Icelandic is hella hard, but I don't really have an interest in learning Icelandic at this point in time, but I really do like their hard R's. Like herd, like the hard rolling R's in Icelandic is really interesting. And it's the closest form of spoken language from what the Old Norse would actually speak. I find that cool. I see that you use many macOS specific software at the moment. Do you worry about a near future where you can abandon macOS and go to Linux? Nah, because I've always kept it in the back of my mind. I never intended to live on Mac forever. Mac is for school, but I also plan to use it for content creation because this MacBook is beefy as hell. So I plan to use this for filming, live streaming, because live streaming on my ThinkPads is no. So mostly the Mac was just going to be for school because of requirement, and then for content creation in the future. And I plan to live off of my Arch Linux ThinkPads as a daily driver. Some things that will transfer are like Todoist. So that will transfer. And like what I could do in that instance to keep things, semi-pure on Linux is write my own Python applications to interact with the Todoist API and have my own TUI applications with Todoist data, but on other things use the actual Todoist apps. Or I could just use Todoist on Linux because it's cross-platform, so it could work. But certain things that I will miss, Text Sniper. Text Sniper on Mac is Mac only, but this is something I was actually going to make a YouTube video on recently too, for an ADHD piece of content, was I'm actually getting my first real EEO accommodation at work. I'm getting a piece of software that helps me read long form text, because I really love Text Sniper's, like, take a screenshot of text and using OCR, it copies it to your clipboard, but it can read it back to you. And that is like amazing to me because it can read it back to me and I can increase the rate it reads back to me. So while I'm studying, I can just take a screenshot of my textbooks at school, read the text, and if I just read text, it doesn't work well because, ADHD eyes actually bounce a little too high off of the words because your eyes actually bounce when you read, which is why speed readers actually have a little guide with their finger or something where they actually will guide and follow the tip of the finger as they read the words until they get good enough to just do a vertical page scan. But it's worse with ADHD because your eyes can't focus on the words enough to also retain the text. Plus there's also the memory issues. So reading is sometimes I have to read this paragraph 5 times to understand what the hell it's actually trying to tell me, versus read the text and then guide read the text, but have it also audio read to you. That was one of the things that would have made studying in school so much easier when I was younger. But Text Sniper's Mac only, and for anybody who cares, what the heck did I just do? That's not what I meant to do. I did something. Text Sniper. If anybody cares, that's my affiliate link for Text Sniper. It, you know, gives me a kickback, doesn't charge you anything extra. I love Text Sniper because it's like unintentionally an amazing accommodation for me, if this was like my working computer, for reading and processing like long form text. I can't imagine living without Text Sniper right now. But like I'm getting a piece of software at work that does a lot of what Text Sniper does, you know, take screenshots, read text, but it also does something where it actually highlights the words reading. So like it's another form of guided reading. And like, yeah, I'm getting my first accommodation because, oh yeah, I am disabled in a way and it does help me. So like I'm actually, you know, advocating for myself and getting the things I need to be effective. Which, yay, proud of myself because normally I don't do these things because of trauma. But recreating that on Linux will be interesting. I have ideas for what I want to do because like I could probably build something with Python, you know, take a screenshot, run it through OCR with Python and, you know, take advantage of some speech module and have it read back to me, increase the rate of speech. Cool Python project to look into. Excuse me. So I'll probably do that. Let's see, I got distracted on the tangent. Gavin, thank you. Thank you. 20K, I honestly, this 2021, I went from 4K to 20K in 2021. Wow. And see, like, I was surprised by it because like, I don't have the ability and this, I can't edit my videos well. I don't like, come on camera. I don't like editing. I can't get into it. I'm not that creative. I'm very much more left-brained, so I don't like doing a lot of editing. And I can't really afford an editor full-time for everything that I make. And even then it's like, how can I tell them to be creative when I myself can't even conceptualize like how I want the thing to be creatively organized? So like I don't edit my videos, in my opinion, in a great way. Like I look at other YouTubers and their videos are like so much better in editing and it's better for their audience. They attract more people because their videos are just better editing quality. And so like I'm surprised I've gotten this far this fast, if at all, because I primarily just focus on content and like structuring. Like I make lots of timestamps because I know I'm really long-winded. I love to talk about things the way that I like to talk about them. And that comes off with like here's an hour-long video, which is not for everybody. And ironically is probably not the greatest thing for people with ADHD. So, but like my best performing video is like a half-hour video on ADHD, and I get almost no complaints from anybody with ADHD watching that thing to completion. Maybe they're hyperfixating on it. I don't know, but it seems to be working well enough. It seems to be working for me, and for now, I'm happy and really happy that I got 20K. But still surprised that it happened so quickly. And yeah, I mean, the day, if it ever happens, the day that I get to like 100K and get like one of those plaque things for YouTube would just be like mind-blowing to me. I mean, I guess that's like, you know, the big audacious goal of the future is to make it there. But like, I'm just vibing. I'm having fun. I like making what I make. I like talking about things that I like, and I like interacting with people who also enjoy the things that I talk about. So if it happens, it happens. When it happens, it happens. And I'll be excited. But for now, I'm just enjoying doing my thing. And hobbies, which thankfully everyone who supports the channel and supports me and contributes to that is supporting this level of nerdiness in my personal life, which then I will make videos about because it's so cool. Vikings, yes. I have hacks for what you just described. I read the first few paragraphs out loud a few times until I can figure out a cadence for the writer. Interesting. I myself try to read out loud too, or I notice I do it anyways. But one thing, I forgot to say something about this. I noticed that CompTIA exams, or maybe it's not CompTIA, maybe it's just like in general, but proctoring exams, I understand why. You're not allowed to read aloud questions and things, probably because, like, is there a microphone somewhere? Is there somebody feeding you answers or whatever? But if I have the text and I can't read it aloud, I have to read it like 5 times just to get through one question on my exams. CompTIA is horrible about this too, because even if it's not about reading it back to myself, excuse me, is that the way they do like their proctoring software is that, you know, it takes over your screen, takes over your computer, close all other applications, but the window doesn't let you resize the window or anything to then shrink the text. So basically the text just goes all the way across the screen and a little bit of word wrap over here. And like, I struggle to read that way. Because like, maybe I just want to have it all bunched up so I can just do little lines, little lines, little lines. And that would help. But like obviously I'm doing fine. I passed all my exams. It's just, to me, it's not very accessible. But way to go. Thank you. Sign me up on that port to Linux. We'll just need someone that can focus more. Oh man, I've abandoned so many projects on which I've spent hours. Yeah, the port to Linux is going to be definitely after I finish school. One, because I have to use this MacBook for school because they don't support Linux, and I did not want to run Windows. And I didn't want to run a VM of Linux, or I didn't want to run Windows on a VM just for school. Though I actually probably could have done that and been fine. It is what it is at this point. But I want to do Arch Linux from scratch and have full, like I did it all from scratch level to learn it, to learn in depth just by getting in the weeds. So that's going to be a massive investment of time, and I don't have that obviously right now because of school. So that's going to be a whole barrel of fun. Maybe then I'll make more Linux content, and then I can do more collabs with Brody Robertson again. Because right now I'm kind of really far away from anything that he does. We both used to be really Linux, but now I'm kind of doing this stuff. Timestamps make it easy to find the relevant parts. That's what I'm saying. I like doing copious timestamps because I value my time. I want to value other people's time. I do not like wasting time. And I hate when people waste my time. So that's why I do the timestamps. That because I know I'm long-winded. So just watch that A3 video to the end. I was hooked to the end. Congrats and thanks. A3. Is it my ADHD video? But thank you. I had to develop a strategy. So to sound silly, I hum the words. Interesting. Let me try this. Okay, yeah. I can see that. That's interesting. I wonder if I could get away with that. Well, most of my exams left are actually not proctored, thankfully. They're all practicals, but that would be nice. Do you time slot your reading time to make sure you have some reading time in the week? No, I used to. I've been horrible. I have not read anywhere near what I want to. In fact, I'm actually jealous because my girlfriend has been amazing about her reading this year. Like the first couple weeks, it's not like 3 weeks into January, she's already read 4 books. I'm just like, oh my god, her goal is 50 this year. Like, I barely made my goal of like 20 or 25 last year. And I got a bunch of books right here that I want to read. I got a lot I want to read. I want to read a lot. I love reading. I need to get better about time slotting my reading time because I was doing some good level of reading last year because of that, but I've been horrible about it. Thanks for the reminder. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the stream. It's not that much to get the basics on Arch. The details take a lot. Yeah, it's the details that I get lost in the details because of hyperfixation. So even if I just got the X server started and the profile file and the init, xinit, rc, yada yada yada, there's a lot of whys. So basically, I'm still using like Luke Smith's LARBS system, but I want to build it all from scratch myself. But really, what I'm also kind of trying to do is go through his system and like really see like why this works, how this works, what every single file, piece of code, text does. and then build my system from the understanding of what that system is doing. Because what I really want is that in-depth understanding. So that whole project is going to take forever to do. But yeah, I hear the relative setup of Arch is not too horrible, especially now that you have the Arch install script now. That thing is awesome. ADHD. Nice. I'm glad you liked the video. Is taking medication helping out with my reading? I've just been horrible about my reading time management lately, and by the time I would get around to reading, like when I'm getting ready for bed, or I'm in bed and I'm reading before going to bed or going to sleep, at that point my medications have all worn off. I take Concerta for my steady state, high release for my work day. Then after work I take Ritalin, which is short acting and usually about for 4 hours for stuff like, oh hey, I'm live streaming, or I'm filming a video, or I'm doing something. So I have not really had impacts of reading with medication, but sometimes when I'm doing KT or learning something on work hours for work, like we get protected work time. So like I've been reading this amazing book, Refactoring by Martin Fowler. This thing's legit. So going through that and reading and learning from that on work hours when my medication is at a strong release, awesome. Still have the same problem where I feel like I need a large chunk of time to get into the task because I deem it to be a high level of involvement task. So still have that problem, but it does help. What is my current typing speed? Top typing speed. The top? I could check a website, but I'd have to restart my browser and it was slowing down the stream. But I want to say my top was maybe in the low 80s, but my average typing speed, I think, is like 72 words per minute, and that's maybe slightly higher. I don't know. Something around those lines. I don't keep my fingers on the home row. I was practicing that for most of last year and like learning to touch type. And I probably should still try that and get better at it. But like I mostly just know where the keys are and I kind of just type haphazardly and I still get really fast typing. And honestly, like I'm not doing anything that really needs faster typing speed. So, but decent typing speed. Ever since I got diagnosed, I started paying attention to which senses are heightened. I realized that I'm sensitive in 3 areas: smell, sound, and touch. Now I try to use those sensitivities. Yeah, the crossover for me with this potential ASD diagnosis, which, actually, why don't I try sharing the screen for once? If I can get something pulled up. There we go. Come on now. Give me a second here. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. So, about the sensitivities, the sensory things, like ADHD already has sensory issues, and my friend Tom, the other moderator in my server, I think it's like Firo or something, he was telling me that some of the papers that he's read says that there's so much overlap with autism and ADHD that there almost isn't really major differences between them because of these spectrum disorders and where people lie. So after seeing so much overlap on ADHD TikTok, to be honest, and ASD, autism spectrum disorder, ASD TikTok, I saw a potential test you could take. So I took the test. My score, I took the RADS, or the RADS-R. And so like my, is it here? No, it's this one. So like I took this test, if I could find the results page. That's a lot of comments. Is it there? No, is it there? Is it there? Where is it? Oh, there it is. So like supposedly, if you score higher than 64, you're some level of neurodivergent because like no neurotypical person supposedly scores above 64. And then I got this, and it's like out of 220 something points or whatever. So like I'm like, whoa, that's some intense number. And yeah, so there's that, and then it recommends you, okay, we'll take the Aspie quiz, and so I took the Aspie quiz and saw, oh, okay, and apparently the rule for this one is that there's a difference of 35, then the higher item, so if this is like 0 and this is 35, then you fall likely on this thing, and the difference is obviously 113 on the side of autism. So like, and I'm heavily over here, and yeah, a lot of the questions also highlighted that I have just insane levels of sensory issues. I have a lot of issues with sensitivity. So like bright lights, I pretty much leave with sunglasses on, and I only drive with sunglasses, even when it's overcast, just because the light is too bright. And sound, I'm hypersensitive to sound. I've been like in a parking garage with my partner, and there's a train going by, and it's just so loud and deafening to me. I literally almost crouched down, and I had to cover my ears and like just wait for it to pass because it was so deafening to me. I couldn't even do anything. I couldn't even move to like get her in the car first. I just like I pretty much live with either my house is usually really quiet, or I have my Bose headphones on. These things, lifesaver, absolute lifesaver. But yeah, I'm hypersensitive to sound. If there's competing sounds, like I posted that TikTok in my Discord server about the auditory stuff. Let me get the link for anybody who's in the chat who cares. But like, it is the most accurate depiction of what auditory sensitivity feels like for ADHD and autistic people that I have ever seen, and hardcore relate to both, like both the autism and the ADHD aspects of it. So if you're interested, here it is. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, texture and taste. I'm less sensitive about that now as an adult. Like my palate has expanded. I used to have a very basic and confined palate when I was a kid. Like only Ritz crackers and cheddar cheese, only top ramen, only like specific things. But I've since like I'm a lot more adventurous with that now, and it's almost basically a non-issue for me on those things. But like light, touch, temperature, and sound, I am hypersensitive. Like I need to be cold. I don't like the heat. My girlfriend runs cold. I run hot. So like I like the house to be like 69 degrees or like 68 degrees. She likes it like 74, and I'm just like so yeah, I think that was a big tangent. Can I explain more about my learning list and what I do and how I track? My learning list, a lot of my learning list is honestly on my Works Azure DevOps board, because I track a lot of it there. But learning is also like the projects I want to do and learn by doing the projects. And I have a lot of those in my dev log, which let me pop that open over here somewhere. Come on, where is it? There it is. 1 second. So like, if I go to my devlog and I want to open up projects, backlog. It's gonna be laggy right now, but let's open up projects, please. Thank you, please. Any day now. Man, we are laggy as hell today. There we go. So like there's a bunch of different projects that I want to do. Like I want to do a TechSniper Windows clone. I can also do that for Linux, but like, so if I wanted to recreate my own version on Windows, I want to make a Discord bot for my server. I want to do an FTP file transfer application. I want to do audio transcription stuff, speech recognition. I want to make my own Jarvis type of bot kind of thing. A multi-clipboard. Like, so there's those types of projects. There's also a bunch of to-do items that I use to-do tree on my Dendron-based devlog to, go through. Like, there's a bunch of stuff on the Exorcism website for like learning there. There's a bunch of networking to-dos I want to do, like setting up a bunch of different services on my servers. So like, there's that whole aspect of things, but there's also like just Azure DevOps work items in my work Azure instance, where I have like epics and features and stories all broken down in hierarchies of like different things I want to learn. Like I have an epic that is just, I want to learn things. This is my KT epic, knowledge transfer. And I'll have a bunch of features, which are the child items of that. They're like this domain, like SQL, Docker, Rust. And then from those features, I have stories. And the stories might be like, or actually, no, the features are actually cycles. Like I could say like for this sprint, this cycle, I have this feature. And this feature has all these stories. The stories are the subjects like SQL, Docker, Rust, whatever. And then the tasks attached to the stories would be like this website, this YouTube video, this podcast, or whatever. And I just tick things off that way. And I use kind of like a zettelkasten input system it's very stripped down, very basic for my devlog to keep track of my chronological list of things I'm learning. So you can see like my path as a developer. That's the basics of how I approach that for my learning stuff. Do I prefer reading on physical paper or on a computer screen? Both. It's hard. I like reading physical paper, but I struggle to do it when I'm surrounded by tech. But when I go to my family's cabin for like a week at a time, which I do like once a year, I bring a stack of books and I get through it. I like paper, but I also like being able to read on my screen, because then I can just follow the text, use TechSniper, have it read back to me, all those perks, and then I don't have to transcribe notes. I can just copy paste things. There's pros and cons to both. I love paper. I like computer. Dad's a 70-year-old software architect. He hunts and pecks instead of touch type to this day. If it works, it works. Yeah, the first test, Walter, was the RADS-R. And it's free. Search RADS-R on Google. You can find the test. No problem. Do I use macros, custom hotkeys a lot? And I thought about using a second keyboard just for macros. Yeah, I don't use auto hotkey on my MacBook. I do use it on my work machine on Windows because I don't have like text expansion like I do on here with Alfred. But I don't have a separate keyboard just for macros. I have a Stream Deck, and I have the biggest Stream Deck. It's like 32 keys, I think. 32 keys. So that's kind of what I use, but I don't really know. I heard of HSP. I have not heard of that. What is HSP? Concert lights are killing me. Can't go to concerts because of it. But this is the recent after 30 years. Full volume on headphones. Yeah, and it's also kind of hit and miss. Like sometimes I have too much auditory stuff. I need to have complete silence, so noise cancel. Or I want to have it playing only one thing, like background white noise music in my headphones. All for that. Bam. Speech recognition. Now I'm investigating that for Esperanto. I've been bitten by the bug, already starting buying domains for projects. How to stay focused. I'll let you know when I find out. Oh, man. There's just so much going on these days. I want to be done with school because I want to spend more time writing applications and playing. I don't feel like I get to play enough these days. Listening to Icelandic for white noise, Finnish songs. Nice. Pretty much all the music I listen to is not in English anymore. Like Heilung and Wardruna are my favorite music by far. And basically neo-pagan folk music is like my favorite. I mean, Wardruna and what's over here? Hylam, Snail Warrior. So, but I've really been vibing. My current stem song is like, let me find this thing. Where is it? Oh, it's not in there. It's in downloads. Where's my desktop? Come on, load. My favorite stem song lately is Ask Og Embla by Gjaldir. Basically Ask an Embla from the Norse mythology. Highly sensitive person, those who are thought to have an increased or deeper central nervous system sensitivity to physical, emotional, or social stimuli. Yeah, resonates, but if you can't make out the syllables, you don't get the words. Let's say another thing about GitHub, and you want to, must learn it. Do you guys go to YouTube first, or do you Google first? Usually my approach is I go in and try to mess with the thing, go in and just mess with it, and then once I get, you know, oh, okay, see, this is how these are the interfaces, interesting stuff, then I might actually have a targeted reason, and then I might like Google and YouTube, usually YouTube, but yeah. Henok, Shonline. What is that? I must know. Curiosity, endless curiosity. I am so hungry. I don't think I've... Oh yeah, I didn't eat today. I had an espresso for breakfast, but that was it. Well, I'm looking forward to my dinner. Japanese curry on rice. It's the small blood vessels of the skin, giant skin. Lower extreme. The condition is often treated with steroids. Gavin, do you lift? Man, this adventure of trying to get my autism diagnosis, or at least just get formally tested, because I don't even care if I get the diagnosis or not. I want to get formally tested to have a definitive answer. Kaiser? Assholes. Kaiser's mental health services leave much to be desired. They basically said, in essence, what I was told in almost polite terms, but not polite, but almost polite terms basically was, you're not struggling enough right now in life for us to spend the time and effort to test you. Like, what? Like, I have some of the best health coverage you can get because I work for the government, and you're literally refusing me care. Okay. So I have to go out of network to get formally tested. Yeah. That's dumb. When you watch YouTube to learn a new skill, new programming language, for example, do you take notes at the same time as you're watching? Yeah. Yeah. Depends on what notes I might be taking. But like I might take notes like, say, these are the data types available in Rust. And like, here's a quick example of setting a data type for a variable and then printing out the value and where this might be different if I use a different kind of variable, like a float or an integer kind of a thing. Yeah, I would take notes on that. American healthcare problems. I don't want to hear about it from you Canadians. 2 out of 3 of my moderators are Canadian. You and your universal healthcare system. Heh. Yeah, the US of A leaves much to be desired. That's a depressing topic. But yeah, I basically have to go out of network to get tested, and that is stupid. Oh man, think I'm finally coming down from my anxiety and hyped upness now. I'm finally starting to really calm down a bit. Breathe. North Korea, holy crap. Now the question is, are you still there and doing some sort of like VPN firewall tunneling thing to get through on internet, or did you somehow get away from there? That is interesting. An interesting topic. Yeah, like a good friend told me recently, everywhere has its problems. I am aware of that. I just think that I really dislike America's problems a lot more than I dislike the problems of other countries. Like, I really do not like the egocentrism of America. The whole, America's the greatest country. Like, America's a third world country. Straight up. There's, like, nothing that we do better than any other country. And, like, even technological advancement, like, there's so much stuff that's going out of country, outsourced to out of country, or is just better in other countries. Like, there are other technical hotbeds besides Silicon Valley in California. And look at the crap show, to keep it euphemistic, that is the Bay Area. Like, I'm not sure if any of you guys know or care in detail about the Bay Area, but like the housing market there is stupid. You know, there's people losing their homes just because property values are increasing because of the tech boom, and it's just... I am not an America fanboy. You will not see me being all nationalistic and waving an American flag around. Yeah, I have a lot I could say on those topics, but I don't want to get down into a rabbit hole of hyperfixated rage. Fair. Yeah, that's the thing though, is like, there's good things and there's bad things about everywhere. There is some good stuff that America does and makes. Yeah, when we actually decide to put funding and support into the arts. My family cabin, is it far out of everything? Do you feel safe there? Yeah, I think so. Where? Yeah, it is. It is out there. It's been in my family since the 1940s. My grandpa's grandpa, I believe, and a bunch of other people all went in together and bought, like, I don't know if it's like 80 acres or something or what, but like they bought hell of land for like $400 in 1940, and they built their own cabins. They felled trees to make space and built cabins out of the wood. And yeah, so it's way out there. It's hundreds of miles away from me. It's deep in the forest. It's a private road. It's right by the Pacific Crest Trail, so like I can go and hike portions of the Pacific Crest Trail. And it's hella peaceful. It's so quiet, so peaceful. I adore being up there. It's like the most relaxing time I spend every year. And yeah, I just go up there, I cook food, I barely talk because I usually go up alone for a week. Yeah, white male privilege. I don't have to worry about traveling alone. But yeah, I basically spend a week up there alone being a forest hermit, just cooking, eating, sleeping, and reading a crap load of books. And depending on if I'm in a good place with my fitness, I might do like, you know, hill sprints and workouts because it's like thousands of feet above sea level, so it's actually good training for me. I love it there. It's my favorite place to be. Come to Australia. I don't know if I could do the heat, to be honest. Like, my partner and she and I are talking about like long term, do we maybe want to go and live in some place like Norway, because I love the language and I'm sure I'd like the culture there, but cold. I like the cold, and as much as she's somebody who runs hot, she likes the cold as well, at least so she can wear her sweaters, cardigans, and turtlenecks. Come to Vietnam, we make $500 a month. I like Vietnamese food. Like, yeah, pho, but like, I love banh mi's, Vietnamese coffee. Oh my god, there's a good Asian bakery near me that we love to go to and get like a Vietnamese coffee and a banh mi, and oh my god, they bake the bread themselves, and it's just... If I could have an all-you-can-eat banh mi buffet, I would probably have to go to the hospital afterwards. Do I work from home? Yeah. Because of the disease plague that cannot be named, else my channel gets nerfed. The state government here in California was on emergency telework, still is, but I've just recently finished my formal telework agreement, so I am a permanently teleworking employee from home. And yeah, so I work from home full-time as a government employee. And it's pretty rad. It's awesome. One, my tech and setup is far better than what I would be able to like request and requisition from the state. So that's awesome. But also I get to control my environment. So I get to save on commute costs and time, which then gives me more time in my day for learning and general getting anything else done, which is amazing. I get to be around my cats, which is, you know, a great stress reliever. I like being around my cats. They come and sit in my lap sometimes while I code. I get to control the noise volume. Nobody can come and do a drive-by by my cubicle. So I get to regulate communication through asynchronous means. So set up a meeting before we actually have a video call. Send me an IM first. Send me an email first. You don't just walk by somebody's cube. So the context switching is drastically improved. I'm able to get so much more work done. My environment is more conducive to my success and productivity because I get to control my environment. I have my own dedicated office room now. My partner and I switched some stuff in our house so that she has her own office and I have my own office. So this is like my leather workshop, server room, YouTube studio / home office. And I love it. It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing that this worldwide plague has done, is really support people at getting the final push to actually support and do telework. But yeah, I love teleworking full time. Come to Canada. I should visit Canada. If I visit Canada, can I visit you and Gavin? That'd be cool to hang out with you guys. -4 in the winter, 104 in the summer. Canada? 104 in the summer? Or is that Australia? Perth in the west has had 8 days over 40 Celsius, 100 this summer. Only 100? Okay, then maybe that's not that bad, because Central California by Sacramento, in our summer, it can get up to like 112. And there's like, our summer is basically like straight 90 degrees, high 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So like it's basically almost 38 to 40 degrees Celsius almost all of summer in the Central Valley of California. And there's many days where it's over 40 degrees Celsius, or like over 100 and something degrees Fahrenheit. It's disgusting. Which is why, again, I love telework, is because during summer, I can just not leave my house until it's like nighttime and somewhat cooler, and then I can go do my grocery shopping or something. Oh, I just got an Amazon delivery. More stuff for my Echo Dots. I also ordered a crap load of books. There's so many more books I want to buy. My God. swear all the money I get from this YouTube channel and everything around it really just goes to buying server equipment and books. Oh, and my gym equipment. I built my home gym thanks to YouTube as well. Might do a video on that whole thing sometime soon. A lifestyle type of video. Because if you didn't know, I've been doing code and programming for like 5, going on 6 years now. I was into health and fitness and training, certified personal trainer, degree in physical education, parkour and gymnastics coach, certified coach. And I did parkour for 7 years. And so like the amount of code and tech knowledge I have is just exactly the same as like what I have with like physical stuff knowledge. So I also have a vault in Obsidian for my like physical activity, health, fitness kind of notes and things, and I'm actually going to be porting that over to Dendron as well. But yeah, I have many notes for all of that stuff. And I might make content about that in the future. Who knows? I'm an eclectic person. I don't know if my channel is going to continue to grow very, very much, because like I am all over the place. I like note-taking and productivity apps and software, but I talk a lot about ADHD and mental health, and then I also talk about code and programming and tech, and I also want to talk about like fitness and health things and lifestyle stuff and what I'm doing. And this channel is kind of just like a let's follow Bryan's hectic stream of consciousness type of stuff. Yeah, the leap to IT was, yeah, I was never this into technology. When I started working for the state government here, it's mostly just because state jobs have really good benefits here. Good pay, good benefits. And then I started using Microsoft Excel. I got really into that. I have like over 100 certifications in just Excel. And then I eventually from there discovered, oh wait, I can automate Excel stuff. We use a lot of Excel. I could automate things with Visual Basic for applications, a language that I now think is one of the most abhorrent things that exists, and I refuse to touch it. But I did a lot of coding in VBA, and from there that sparked my interest in programming. I learned R and then Python and a lot of other things that I play around with. Edited MySpace HTML back in the day too, but like that was like my first foray with code stuff. And yeah, just got into it, progressively into it, and hyperfixated the crap out of it. And so now here I am, just learning everything about everything, getting IT certifications, getting a bachelor's degree in data analytics and data management, working in an IT unit that is titled data management and data analytics, and just vibing. Learning new stuff every day. I love to learn. It scratches the brain itch. It releases all the dopamine. Server rack. 83 on Razar. Yeah. It's funny, huh? My sister didn't score too much lower than me. My mom still scored relatively close to me, but my aunt... I love my aunt. She is amazing. She is a wonderful person. I love talking to her. She's such a wonderful person. And I could have sworn she was neurodivergent. She's not, according to Radzar, because like I got like 174. My sister was like pretty close to me, but just as stark. I think maybe that was the Aspie quiz. But my aunt scored like a 10 or a 16 or something. She is hardcore neurotypical, and I'm just like, what? Am I moving to Dendron from Obsidian? No. I have things I am moving to Dendron, like my dev log and like my fitness and health notes, but my zettelkasten is hardcore staying in Obsidian. Talk about whatever I want on my channel. Sounds interesting. Will do. Glad people find my stuff interesting. I will continue to blab about what I want to talk about. I just have so many eclectic interests. It's just kind of all over the place, so maybe that will vibe with the ADHD people who are just interested in random stuff from the same person. I did powerlifting. I've done calisthenics, parkour, gymnastics, bodybuilding, powerlifting, a lot of stuff. My total for powerlifting never got to be something substantial because I didn't do it too long because I kept hurting my back until I found out that I actually had a muscle imbalance and corrected that with physical therapy. But like my total was not that great, but for like a year it wasn't bad. It was like 11, maybe 1100, or was it just 1,000? But I got over 1,000 total. I was benching 275, I was squatting 385, and I was deadlifting 435. But I have a 100-pound kettlebell in the garage. The thing's a beast. I really love calisthenics, though. I love calisthenics. Is it hard to break into the tech industry with no coding working background? I wouldn't know. I'm not a great person to ask. I was in government already, and government is vastly different from private sector. And I kind of eased my way towards technical classifications because I was like bottom of the barrel, office assistant, like the lowest type of job you can get in the state. And I worked my way up into like the general level analyst classifications. And from there I went into like a research analyst, research data analyst, and then research data specialist. And yeah, those classifications are kind of like middle ground. Like you do code, but you're not doing like IT classification stuff. Like you're not touching servers for the most part. You're not configuring things. You're not dealing with back-end DBA database stuff. Though the jobs that I have had, I was actually a DBA on a lot of things, which is maybe not the best, but it is what it was. But from those like middle level classifications where you touch code and work closely on IT things, but are not IT, but are not strictly business side, I from there worked my way into IT, specifically hardcore IT, and yeah, so it was a progression, and in the state and government, it's very different from private sector. So I've never worked a full-time job in the private sector, so I'm not a great person to ask. You've caught MySpace? Yeah, I was on MySpace in the early days. I think I was in middle school. I was a hardcore RuneScape player. I never got into RuneScape Classic. I played like V2 before all the 3D stuff. I loved classic RuneScape. I still have the login for one of my characters. I remember I've owned and played every Blizzard game that exists. I still think that's an accurate statement. I don't keep up anymore on the World of Warcraft expansions. I stopped playing, I think, after Mists of Pandaria, but like I never really got so into it because I can't play these games and have a life. I get too hyperfixated on optimizing things, and I just can't. I don't play video games anymore. But I do have a Super Nintendo, an N64. No, not an N64. I have a Super Nintendo, and I have like all my old games I played on it. Like I have, I think it's Super Mario Brothers. I have the old Aladdin for it. I have, shoot, what other ones did I get? I got 4 of them, I think. Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, I remember when I was in daycare, when I was a lot younger, I played on Sega Dreamcasts, and I remember playing the original Spyro, the original Sonic. I had dial-up with a modem at my grandma's house. I remember waiting for World of Warcraft to come out. I used to play with the game discs, Warcraft 2. Shoot, yeah. I'm probably dating myself hardcore here. I'm turning 30 this year, guys. So, yeah, that's one of the things that sucks about ADHD. Or maybe it's autism, or maybe it's just me. But passage of time is hard. Seeing things change. Seeing like trees around I've lived in the same town for like 20 plus years. Seeing trees that I grew up with around town get cut down for whatever reason, they just have to get cut down. But seeing things like that change, fixtures in my mind of how something can be, friendships that go away, a lot of that stuff is hard. And then I get this nostalgia stuff, and it's at equal parts like, oh, yes, and equal parts sad that those times are gone. Maybe that's just a facet of the human condition. But that stuff hits me pretty hard. But I like a lot of those things that I think that's just something for everybody. It's just the things that we grew up with that harken back to that childhood innocence and age of just spending an afternoon drinking chocolate milk at your grandparents' place, playing a video game or something. Just good times. Oh man, I had another thing I was gonna say, I just forgot. But yeah. I am behind on chat, sorry. But why for fitness notes? Fitness notes because of I liked the way I'm thinking of organizing my notes is just like by body system maybe. So like if I'm doing like pulling, it might be like pulling upper body, pulling legs, pulling upper body, biceps and latissimus dorsi and rhomboids maybe, and pulling lower body would be hamstrings on the contraction of the forgetting the actual Latin names. But yeah, like I wanted to do the same level of hierarchical organization that Dendron does, but for those notes. And it's just in some way, it's just making sense to the way that I think about information and management to have that particular type of structured notes in Dendron versus Obsidian, because Obsidian I want for my more free form, completely like map of content type of structure, but also lacking strict structure, whereas the rigid structured things that I want for like health notes and tech notes, I prefer to have in Dendron. I really like Dendron's dot hierarchy model of organization. Power eating, yeah, it's a thing. I was eating like 5,000 calories, maybe 6, actually I think it was 6,000 calories a day. I was stuffing myself, extra meals, lots of pasta and meat and whatever. And we had a weight gaining contest at my gym to do a bulk for getting stronger, and I won. I gained I think 40 pounds in about 2 months, and it wasn't all just like pudge. I gained a lot of strength. I went from I think about 200 pounds to about 240. I'm sitting at about 250, at a very pudgy 250 right now. And I wanted to get back in shape, and if I could, 220, 210, 205 would be really awesome for me, because I want to be lighter and do more calisthenics. I don't really care about getting super crazy at powerlifting anymore, just because I want to do something that's more sustainable and less likely to injure my back, because if you didn't know, my handle, Tall Guy Jenks, is accurate for a reason. I'm 6'6", or 198 centimeters for those who use metric. I'm tall. I got back problems. I've always had back problems. I'm tall as hell. So deadlifts are meh, but even just squats and loading up my spine is not the greatest. Bench hurts my wrists, even though I have good levers to do bench with a really wide grip. It's just it's not worth the risk, and reward is not there for me to get super serious about powerlifting. It's a tool I will use in my toolbox for my health to lift weights and get that increased load, especially for lower body. But no, I really prefer calisthenics and body weight. It's gentler. I like the strength and the mastery of the body. Like I used to be able to do a handstand, and a static handstand, straight up, straight body line, no banana back, straight line. And I used to be able to hold it for a straight minute, a flat minute, no movement, static. Because what I did in between my college classes when I had like a 3-hour gap is I would practice my handstands and read investment books on like stocks. That's just what I did with my time. So I love hand balancing, and I'd like to get back to doing that too. Bruce, congrats on 20K. Thank you. I relate a lot to your ADD issues. How effective do you think the medication is? Really effective. I kept a medication journal for like the first couple months I was on it. It's awesome. Highly recommend if it's something you're looking to pursue. You can always give it a try. Oof, middle school for MySpace. Why you gotta remind me that you're young like that? How much older than me are you? Yeah, I feel equal parts young and old. Like, I feel like I think from a perspective that is, you know, the typical trope of old soul. I've always gotten that. Always gotten that. I've always got along with my friends' parents better than my friends when I was younger. I always related more to adults. I could hold conversations with adults. I've always thought of things like long-term, thought of yeah, I just always felt like I've had a more mature mindset. And, but yeah, so I've always been physically younger and sometimes acted younger because of, you know, ADHD and impulsivity. But my mental outlook has always been like incredibly like old man. Like I can definitely do delayed gratification. Like I used to live off of like $100 a week of just for food expenses, and I worked like 16-hour days for 2 months straight at the prison when I worked there to just get together a large chunk of money for a down payment for a house. Like right as I started my career, like I have just had that kind of level of foresight and just always thinking down the line, sometimes too much, because you got to remember to live in the moment. My girlfriend has helped me a lot with keeping that perspective. But, sorry, my camera keeps going off here. But, yeah, that perspective. Donkey Kong Country for the win. Yep. 5 years without playing WoW, and I still have flashbacks. Yeah. Oh, WoW. So many memories with WoW. Let's see. What's wrong with my mouse? The heck? I used to make crappy RPGs with a bootleg copy of RPG Maker 2000. I have not heard of that. That sounds interesting, though. Used to play Tibia, dropped it, and swore to never touch an MMORPG again. I've been committed to that. It takes so much time. It's been 10 years. It does, especially when you hyperfixate on it and I'll try to optimize. I lose so much time. It's not healthy. I love MMORPGs, but then again, it's because I love that investment into a character, build, max out skills, acquire, do all the quests, check all the boxes, get all the things. So I try to treat my life as a video game and do it that way. So like, I want to learn all the languages, I want to do all the projects, I want to get all these skills, I want to level up my skill, I want to get stronger in the gym. Health potions are healthy food. Rest is, you know, green potion, and like working on my strength by doing pull-ups is building my pull-up skill to level 99. Like that's how I've always had the outlook for like physical training, is treating myself as a video game character and doing that. And it's one of the only ways to like really motivate myself to take care of my health like that. And then once I do it, I also just love the endorphins of training. So, but yeah. Space Invaders. I played classic Space Invaders. I love Galaga, the old arcade Galaga. I love Galaga, actually. Didn't have much of those moments until I had kids. Yeah, I just relive my nostalgia. Now stuff they do throws me back to that. Hey, Josh. Welcome. My goal is 175. I've never been that weight in adulthood. I haven't been 175 since I was in middle school. Because I was in middle school, I think I went from 110 to 165, and then when I finally entered high school, I was like 180 or so. Maybe I was 160. But I got into high school and I was 180, and then I graduated high school at 180, and I was still working out, but I started actually gaining weight, and then after high school I went up to 200, then to 220. Then I did my weight gaining contest at the powerlifting gym and started powerlifting, and now I'm sitting at 250. 6'6", 250. Yeah, I'm a big guy. My girlfriend's 5 foot, so she's tiny. I'm a foot and a half taller than her. Designer developer, dropping by to say congrats on 20K. See you at 100. Thanks. 100 would be really cool. 35, nice. Yeah, you got a little bit on me. 220, 16, 180 in 9th grade. Yeah, you were heavier than me when I was in high school. I was a string bean. Like, I was like danger skinny. Man. I was so skinny, I could disappear if I turned sideways. Oh, 5'11". Yeah, I'm taller than you. Shocker. I'm taller. Probably end the stream in like 17 minutes, just because I had the delay from the start of the stream, but also like I haven't eaten all day, so it's 7 o'clock at night and I haven't eaten any food today because ADHD. So I will enjoy my dinner, verily, but still got some time if you want to ask a question and get me on a tangent. Oh, look at that. I have an amazing girlfriend. Food will be done whenever you finish. Oh, yay. I love her. I'm 150, 5'9". Well, that's just like asking about note-taking. What are your workout goals? What do you want to do? Do you just want to be big? Do you want to look good? Do you want to do bodybuilding? Do you want to do a specific activity? Like, what pre-existing injuries do you have? Do you have any skills with any like type of movement training, like parkour, gymnastics, or capoeira, whatever, martial arts? That's a can of worms. Usually, though, like the general rule, I would say is if you're going to start training, period, legally, I think I have to say consult your doctor before beginning any strenuous exercise program. Don't shock your system. Don't don't throw yourself at a brick wall and go hard because you don't want to injure yourself and then be out longer than you need to be. Start light and do bodyweight exercise because bodyweight exercise is low impact and it, depending on, you're not overly overweight, so it shouldn't be too much of an impact on your joints. It's low impact. It's endless progressions. You get body mastery, and so you get more control over your body, which is transferable to any other activity you do physically. You don't need a lot of, if any, equipment for it, or if you do need equipment, you can make it out of household crap or even junk. Like if you look at people in like rural Africa, they've made like workout equipment out of just like pipes and gears. You just load the gears onto a pipe and now you've got a bench press. Like you can get crazy with what you can make out of equipment. You don't even need much for body weight. Look better, work on core. Core. Gymnastics is probably one of the best things you can do for your core, along with like compound lifting. If you want to do like weightlifting, like deadlifts, squats, that's really crazy for your core too. But gymnastic style exercise, great for your core. Bad mobility. There's a lot of great mobility stuff you can look at. Dr. Kelly Starrett has a book called Becoming a Supple Leopard, I believe it is, for doing a lot of mobility stuff. His YouTube channel too. Crazy effective stuff on there. I don't care for CrossFit. He does CrossFit, but his mobility stuff is the best I have ever seen. Yeah, walking too. Walking, if anyone's ever trying to lose fat, take this with a grain of salt because I'm not a medical professional, a dietitian or anything. I just practical stuff. Low heart rate, steady state cardio, i.e. walking, is the most effective form of like fat loss than like doing like HIIT training, high intensity cardio. Sprints are good, but a lot of things that induce caloric cravings through carbs, like lots of running endless miles. Like if you do it enough and push through, you can lose a lot of weight and get skinny with running. But it's a lot of joint impact. It's a lot of discipline, and I don't have that level of discipline, honestly, to maintain. The best thing you can do is, get your diet in check, maybe do intermittent fasting, and then, go on long walks, long, steady state cardio duration walks. Keto is effective for short-term fat loss, but it does not help you build good, consistent habits of dietary habits, because I always yo-yo on it, even though I'll drop like 20, 30 pounds in like a month or so. I yo-yo backs because I can't maintain, and then I fall back on the old habits. So it's not great for crash diet. But when I was doing keto without training, I would just walk like, I want to say maybe like walk 5 miles a day or more, just around my neighborhood. And on keto, walk 5 miles a day, and I would lose like 30 pounds in a month. But then again, I'm also at a higher body weight right now, so I have it to lose. A lot of general stuff. Like I could ramble on about health things just as much as I could talk about tech and note taking, to be honest. Joshua, thanks for the dono. First one for the stream. Thank you. I did find Obsidian due to you and fallen in love with it. I think I owe you this for that. Aw, thanks. Thanks for the great, good content. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. I enjoy making it. I enjoy hearing people enjoy it. Do running, walking every other day, but haven't gained anything from it. And my thighs are still filled with fat. However, thank you, Omar, for the sub-suggestion. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of gains from walking or running. Those are cardiovascular activities. They're not going to build muscle. That's through hypertrophy. So if you want to build muscle and gain size, muscle size, you're going to want to do things more along the lines of bodybuilding or powerlifting, where your rep schemes are going to be like between 6 to 8 or anywhere from 6 to 12 and 15 reps, depending on what exercises and what muscle groups you're working. And you're going to go for a medium level of like volume and intensity, and then you undulate those with something called periodization, where you say like, today I'm going to do 4 sets of 12 of this exercise for this muscle group, and then like the next time you do a workout, it's I'm going to do 5 sets of 6 reps on this exercise for that muscle group with a heavier weight. And you do different things like that, and that's what will actually build you muscle size. And not usually in progressive overload, periodization, these are the types of things you need to look into to actually gain muscle. And if you're a skinny guy or girl, well, actually I only give advice for guys because I only have that frame of reference. But if you're a skinny guy, gaining weight, gaining muscle often also is not as easy because you have to get a caloric surplus. And sometimes that's hard for skinny guys with a lot of a high metabolism. So when I was doing my powerlifting weight gain to gain muscle and to get stronger for powerlifting, not only did I eat a lot of extra meals and intake a lot of additional liquid calories on top of that just to get more calories in, but I actually intentionally stretched my stomach to get more food in so that I could get more calories in. So like I would eat while I was being full and put in more to stretch my stomach. It's not the most comfortable feeling, but it was effective and it worked. I can eat more, I gain more, I get more calories in, I gain more body weight, I gain more muscle, and I gain more strength. But you also gain weight. So, you know, there's a lot of ways these things can go. Computer work and stay out of the sun. I do, well, I pretty much live at my keyboard these days. I mean, server rack, YouTube, tech, notes, work from home. I live in this desk, basically. I love it. This is like my man cave. I love it in here. And I do not get outside nearly enough right now because I'm too fixated on dealing with my anxiety gremlin yelling at me about school, to focus on school. But I mean, I would do the exact same thing I'm just going to advise you to do is do your body weight exercise, do get some sunlight. Vitamin D is good for you. Yeah, calisthenics, depending on your goals, maybe eat more, maybe look into periodization, progressive overload, and bodybuilding and powerlifting if you're trying to gain muscle mass. Yeah. A lot of the stuff this is why people hire personal trainers, good personal trainers, not your like Planet Fitness trainers or whatever. When you hire a good trainer, they know how to do all this stuff and how to structure your program to take advantage of things that are specific to you, injuries, diet, weight, existing health conditions, whatever. but they also know and understand how to structure a program to undulate your weights and your volumes and to build you up to a plateau and give you a rest week and then build you up again and progress you. So the money you pay for a trainer is well spent because there's a lot of stuff that goes into developing an effective program that optimizes the investment of time and effort you're putting in. I unfortunately don't do personal training anymore because I don't like being a therapist, and I'm much more robotic when it comes to my prescriptive, like, these are your exercises and giving critique on it, and less about dealing with, like, yeah, I was telling this guy the day at work and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not great about facilitating that conversation, and then my neurodivergent face responses, I'm just like, not looking at you because I have to do that to focus on what you're saying, but is he rude? Am I being interpreted as rude? The people factor is not great for me. That's why I like code. Let me stick with code and tech and technology and servers and things that are logical and make sense, that don't talk to me like people. Not to say I'm antisocial. I have a lot of people I like to be around and a lot of friends, but yeah, I don't like to spend too much time around people. I like my cats. I like my girlfriend. I like many of my friends to a specific degree and dosage. And I like my computer. 6 more minutes, everybody. 6 more minutes. Man, my mouse is being really choppy and slow for some reason. Oh, for Text Sniper, what I also did is that there's all the keys on an MX Master 3 are programmable, I believe, but there's the 2 here, and I programmed one to actually trigger Text Sniper, so it actually turns on, and the other one to toggle whether it reads back to me or not. So like with this, I can easily just with the mouse trigger Text Sniper, drag it, and or like trigger Text Sniper. Yes, I want to hear audio. Click and drag, and I can easily read my text with my mouse just because of that. It's awesome. It's like 2022's hack of the year for me because I found this out recently. It's I love that thing. Yeah, I basically stopped my training during the plague as well. It's not the best, but then it's also because I started school during the plague, and I want to finish my bachelor's program, be done, and then actually put that. My girlfriend and I also use the analogy of like we have coins for the day. You spend your coins on the things you invest in your time and attention into in the day, and I've been putting all my coins into school and work and YouTube, and even then it's mostly just school and work because I don't know if you've noticed my YouTube posting schedule is not what it used to be. It used to be like every other week, every other week. Now I'm like, I'm gonna miss like the next couple Mondays because I just don't have the time. I got things going on. So, which is why I'm still glad everyone's still around, still supporting the channel, still, enjoying the videos and everything, because I don't have the time and energy to invest that I used to at the moment. But I want to do more. So, in the future, I'll do more in the future, I promise. It'll come back, but I'm hoping after school's over, I'll have more coins back to spend on YouTube and training and my server projects and everything else with this shenanigans. But, yeah. I heard of Rambox. No. Message me on Discord. I'd like to hear about it, because I'm about to sign off. Thanks for the chat. I'll have to check out Dendron. All right, Reggie, have fun. I'm going to be making a video on it soon because I'm working on a sponsorship collab with Kevin, the developer of Dendron. Excited for that because I actually really like Dendron. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to sign off. I am hungrier than I'll probably eat my server rack. I'm so hungry. So I'm going to go have my dinner. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and I enjoyed all of our discussions and chats. If you would like to, hang out some more, this is, I'm not sure why it did that. Where's my Discord link? That's weird. It's just posting my clipboard contents. 1 second. There we go. Okay, if you would like to join the Discord server, there you go. You can join my Discord server. I'm more active in there. I answer every email, usually, and I respond to every comment on YouTube right now because I have the ability to do so. But I'm definitely more responsive and active on Discord. So if you want to hang out my server, I'm looking forward to doing more things, like maybe we could do movie nights or audio-only things or stuff that doesn't take a lot of preparation for me, and just do more interactive stuff because I'm not too able to do more content right now, but things to do. Man, my throat hurts now from talking too much. Sent it on the... Okay, thank you. All right, everybody. Bye. Thanks for joining me. It was nice talking to everybody.